Wrong ones part ways, right ones find their way. Title of the article shared with you today is called Divorce. I've been regretting for the past 3 years. Now let's listen together. When SuYu first discovered her husband's extramarital affair, their son was just 1 month old. Although his phone was locked, the message prompted, "What time are you coming tonight?" With a calm face, SuYu told her husband about the message. After he took the phone, there was a moment of panic in his eyes. Under her forceful demand, her husband unlocked the phone, revealing various affectionate and flirtatious messages. He admitted to the flirtation but vehemently denied the affair, even deleting the messages in front of her. This matter was thus left unresolved. Afterward, his phone was set with the same password as SuYu's, ready for inspection at any time. The better the facade, the more the rift grew in their hearts. In the following 2 years, life seemed relatively happy. He was still a decent husband and father, considerate and attentive. SuYu personally witnessed her husband going to a hotel room. After a class reunion that day, he drove 2 classmates from out of town to the hotel. Seeing his car in the parking lot, she called him to test him. Sure enough, he claimed to be out of town on business and would be home late, asking her to put the children to bed first. An hour later, her husband appeared with a woman, carrying a pink bag in his hand. He begged her not to divorce him, citing their 2 young children. In the past, SuYu always thought women who stayed in marriages for the sake of their children were useless and cowardly. But when it happened to her, she realized how far a mother could go for her children. It was unrealistic for her to raise 2 young children alone, and she couldn't trust him to do it. Moreover, despite betraying their marriage, he was a good father to their children. So the divorce was put off, and life returned to normalcy. His betrayal was like a landmine buried between them, exploding every now and then. After a particularly heated argument, he finally proposed a divorce. In the first year of divorce, she regretted a lot. Both children were too young to understand why their parents were divorcing. Every time they asked why they were moving or why Dad wasn't coming back, it stabbed SuYu's heart like a sharp pain. Children were her gift to the world, but she couldn't give them the complete love of both parents, which was cruel. Her parents blamed her for being too willful and not discussing the divorce with them. Children easily fall sick when they go to daycare, and they often fell ill together. That year, they made 7 late-night trips to the hospital. Sometimes only one of them was sick, but she couldn't leave the other at home alone. The exhaustion and heartache were beyond words. In the end, parents couldn't resist their children's pleas. Her mother promised to help, which lightened SuYu's burden but brought new troubles. Especially after her ex-husband remarried, her mother couldn't bear to see how well he treated his new wife's children, feeling sorry for her daughter but being extremely harsh with her words. She asked why SuYu had to be so stubborn in divorce without discussing it. Finally, she agreed to go on a blind date. The man was either in his 40s or scared off by her 2 children. There were a few who were decent, but they couldn't accept 2 children, or they insisted on having another child together. Every time this happened, SuYu would start regretting again. Why didn't she divorce when she first found out about his affair? Why did she have a second child? In the 3rd year of divorce, everything fell apart in her marriage. She lost herself, a woman raising 2 young children, juggling work, cooking, housework, and helping with homework. Not collapsing was a blessing. Until she joined a club for single mothers and heard a sentence that changed her perspective. A woman's well-being has little to do with marriage. Previously, SuYu had always thought divorce was shameful, unfortunate, and unlikely. But at the club, she was shocked by the divorce rate and the status of other single mothers. Some left everything to accommodate the other woman, some survived suicide attempts and bravely pursued love again. Whether one was married or not didn't matter. Some even transformed from despairing housewives to proud and successful women, flourishing in both love and career. What destroyed a woman wasn't marriage, it was giving up oneself. The first step was to pick up what was lost in the marriage and reclaim it. Admitting divorce was just a fact, not a death sentence. 2 months later, SuYu adjusted her mindset. She dressed up every day, worked hard to earn money, cooked every meal attentively, and took care of herself with facials and styling. Change wasn't difficult, the hard part was taking the first step. Living earnestly was the best positive cycle. Complaining and calculating losses and gains wasted time. SuYu felt radiant, more tolerant, and accommodating. Her 2 children felt safer, no longer tiptoeing around her like frightened birds. In the 3 years since the divorce, SuYu had been regretting constantly. But in the end, she firmly said, "I don't regret getting divorced." Yes, divorce was like recovering from a severe illness. First, you had to live with all your might, work hard, eat well, and take care of yourself. Change yourself and the world will give you opportunities. In the end, you'll live a unique life. That's all for today's sharing. Feel free to leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. Don't forget to like and share with your friends. Looking forward to meeting you.